fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I am pretty excited for this video because it's going to be indie makeup releases where I talk about all the new indie makeup releases on the market, or at least the ones that really catch my eye each week. This video series is inspired by Angelica Nikist and Samantha March, so I have both of their channels linked down below, as well as the Community Will I Bet playlist and all the Instagram accounts that I use to gather the information and the pictures to make this video happen every single week. This week is actually kind of funny because before I sat down to film, I actually had to go around my house and I'm like, oh yeah, I have this and I have that, because I have 4 different things to talk about this week in new makeup releases or indie makeup releases that I already own, which feels very weird, but that's okay. I just figured I would show you what it looks like on camera and like in my hands, and if I have thoughts on anything I can tell you really quickly. But yes, I am actually filming this on a Saturday afternoon, which is way later than I normally like to because I've been procrastinating and my dog's barking right now, and I'm like, I just need to keep filming and make this quick so I can edit it and have it up on time tomorrow morning. So let's just go ahead and jump right on in. Okay, so first is the Midas Cosmetics Flower Bomb palette, which is available now. I believe that it's sold out and you can only purchase it for pre-order, but I'm not sure about the shipping dates, but it retails for $29. And this is a really beautiful spring palette, and overall I do like it. I mean, it's kind of like a pastel rainbow type palette, which I'm not against at all. I think it's pretty. My only thing is I just don't like pressed glitters. So the fact that there are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it looks like 6 or 7 pressed glitters in here. I just wouldn't get use out of any of those shades, so I feel like that would make the palette not worth it for me. But I do think it is really pretty and very eye-catching, so just not for me. Next is some sneak peeks from Suva Beauty, and they are going to be coming out with a new palette, and it's supposed to be a collaboration, but it's kind of confusing because they keep tagging it as the Bobboo 318 palette, but when you click on that, it's like it doesn't look like a real person. Like, it looks like it's supposed to be like a fake funny account, so it doesn't really make sense. I thought maybe it has something to do with Bobboo and the collab, but I don't really understand what's going on there. But from what you can see here, I mean, it does look like there's a touch of purple, a touch of neutrals, and then they also showed some like little swatchy cheek highlighting pictures, and the highlight looks really beautiful. I just don't know if this is anything that I'll end up being interested in just from what I've been sneak peeked so far, but I think it is cool that they are doing their first collaboration. Alright, next is from Alien Cosmetics, and this is their new Forever palette, I think is what it's called. And I think this is pretty. It's kind of like a neutral palette with some like pinky undertones to it, but again, the pressed glitters, it's just not for me. I feel like everyone is coming out with pressed glitters right now, and I'm like, if more than one shade is a pressed glitter, I feel like it's not for me. So I would definitely be passing on this. I think it's pretty overall, but it's not really like catching my eye the way that the Flower Bomb palette did. So I think it's pretty, but it's just, I'm not like, ooh, I need that, or like I didn't really give it a second thought until talking about it right now. So next is some new releases from Davina Cosmetics. So last week we talked about the Willy Wonka Exploders collection, and I thought it looked really, really beautiful. And now she announced the Galaxy Dust collection, which is also really beautiful. It's like the same glittery type of shadows, except much deeper tones. And I actually did receive both of those collections as PR this week, so I have them in my little palette here. So, oh no! Goodness, that was a mess if I've ever seen one. I have blue everywhere. Anyways, so that shadow needs to be repaired, but these are what they look like. I don't even remember what I was saying, but these are obviously very soft pressed for it to fall out like that, which is unfortunate, but I have been testing these out. I've done 3 looks so far. I am wearing this shade right here and this pinky shade on my eye today, and I think that they are absolutely beautiful. You definitely want to use a glitter glue, but they are so sparkly and just, they are so pretty. Like, I can't get over how gorgeous they are, so I will make sure to do a full video before they launch in June, but so far I'm really impressed, other than that moment I just had right now, because it does stink for a shadow to fall out like that. but they are extremely beautiful and glittery. And like this shade is like marshmallow something, and it reminds me of Looxi Beauty Tesla, but like glittery steroid version of Tesla, and it is stunning. It has like a blue reflect, so really enjoying these so far from the 3 looks that I've done, although now this one has to go into surgery. Okay, so the next release is from Lethal Cosmetics, and this is their new Awakening collection, and I think this is really beautiful. They have been sneak peeking like a shade here and there, and they finally showed them all together, and they are actually already available now. There are 8 new shades, and I think this looks really pretty, and I feel like it's a really interesting color scheme. I'm not sure if I would buy all of them individually. I think the only one I wouldn't really be interested in is the gold shade, because I'm just not that into golds, but I think like the really light minty green, the purpley pinky reflect, the peachy shimmer, the lighter purple matte shade. I don't know, I think that this is all really, really beautiful, but I already have some shadows from Lethal that I need to play with way more before I even think about buying any more, but I do think it's a pretty collection. And they did release 2 different liquid lipsticks as well. They released a more like reddy pink one, and then more of like an orange shade, which they both look pretty. They look fine, but I really don't need any more liquid lipsticks, so those are a pass for me. Okay, so next let's talk Blush Tribe. I feel like I haven't talked about them in a while, but they are here for sure this week because we've got a sneak peek and 2 releases. So first they released the Pastel Tribe palette, which I think is pretty. I definitely like the way it looks swatched a lot more than I like the way it looked in the pans. I think the swatches look really pretty. Not really a fan of like the gold pop, but everything else I think is really pretty. And Blush Tribe did let me know that they are going to send me these 2 palettes as PR, so definitely let me know if you're interested in seeing what you're interested in seeing with them. But the first one, like I said, that's the Pastel Tribe, and then the next one is the Leila palette, and I think this is really pretty. I don't think that I would purchase this myself if I wasn't being sent it as PR, because it's supposed to replace the Blossom palette, which I already own, and it's supposedly, I believe, supposed to be almost all repeating shades that they already have in their collection, and I own, I'm pretty sure, every single Blush Tribe palette except for the Neon Dreams. So I feel like if they're all repeating shades, I probably already own all of these, but I do think it looks like really pretty all together, and it is a nice rainbow palette, so I'm curious to see, you know, if I like it and everything. I mean, I think I'll definitely like the quality, because overall I really do like my Blush Tribe palettes, so I'm excited to get my hands on it. And then next, the last little sneak peek from Blush Tribe is that they posted these 2 cover photos, and one is for the Leila palette that we just saw, and the other is for the Leila 2, and that's the one with the green shadows. So I'm thinking they're coming out with a green palette. They also did a little poll on their Twitter, and I'm excited. I feel like they have a lot of green in their line already, but I'm curious to see what they'll do for a green palette altogether and what they'll do to make it unique, because I feel like there's a lot of monochromatic green palettes coming out, so I'm wondering like what pops can you do, what tones will you do to make your green palette kind of stand on its own. So I'm very, very curious about that, what that'll end up being. Alright, so next is the new Cleo Beauty Cosmetics Rise palette, and they don't have a launch date or anything yet, but I think this is pretty. It's kind of your average neutral palette where it's like some warm neutral tones in matte shades, and then the shimmers are more fun colors. There's like a really beautiful purple, a beautiful blue, there is a black with glitter, which is personally not my preference at all. Then there's like a yellow shimmer, it looks like, I think it's a shimmer from what I can see, and then there's like a peachy pinky champagne type shade. So I think this is pretty overall. Don't see myself purchasing it though, just because it's not really, it wouldn't really add anything to my collection, but I think it, you know, it's kind of like a neutral palette with a little bit of a twist to it. Next is a new sneak peek from Looxi Beauty. I feel like I can't keep up with Looxi because every time they release something new, and then like I wait like a few weeks, and like I just bought their mattes. It's like I'm doing like one of my purchases for May is my own like little custom palette, so I bought some of their mattes when they were on sale for $3 each, because I just couldn't help myself. I wanted to try their new matte formula so bad and to see what the difference was. So I'm like, I just got those in the mail, and then they start sneak peeking this. I'm like, I can't keep up, but this is their new PM3 collection, and I think it's going to be all different like metal shadows is what they called it, and just, you know, metallics, and I think some of these are really pretty, but I don't need them. I don't need it. Next, Why is everyone coming out with so many beautiful single shadows right now? I feel personally attacked. This is from Luxe Beauty, and this is their new iridescent sprinkle trichromes. These look beautiful as well. I think they're $10 each, and they're like all different. I mean, they're supposed to be trichrome shades, but even if they're not, because sometimes I feel like people call things duochrome or trichrome or whatever, and it's hard to see. But regardless, just looking at the swatches, I think that they look really, really beautiful. And I'm here for like the pinky and the purple and the blue tones. I just think it's really pretty. Don't need it. I don't need to buy it, but I'm definitely interested, and I could see buying it one day, far away in the future, but not right now. Alright, next is a new collection from Amy Hearts Beauty, and this is their birthday collection, and it's actually only part one. I think they're going to have 2 parts of their birthday collection, and this part they have a eyeshadow palette, which looks pretty. It's definitely more of like a half colorful, half neutral palette, which they kind of said that they wanted to do something more beachy themed, more neutral, because most people like more natural makeup in the summer. Can't relate, but I can see where they're going with that. And then they also are coming out with 9 jelly shadows, I believe, and they are supposed to be all like LGBTQA plus inspired, and I believe that all of the proceeds for those jelly eyeshadows will go to the purchaser's local, or the purchaser's state community chapter for the LGBTQA community for them, if that makes any sense. I'm sorry. So I think that's really cool. All of the proceeds, not just a little bit, all of the proceeds from those shadows will go to that. And then they're also coming out with 3 lip glosses and a new like satin lip stain type of product. So I think this is really pretty. I don't really see anything where I'm like, oh, I need to buy that, I need to try it. I think the one thing I'm most interested here is it looks like they're coming out with a clear gloss, and I really like their gloss formula. I feel like it's really like luscious and like just comfortable and not drying, and it's just everything I'd want. I have a like pinky toned gloss from them that I really, really love. So I think the most intriguing thing for me is the clear gloss, because I actually don't own any clear glosses at all, like none, not a single clear one. So I'm definitely curious about that one. All right. I think that is all the indie releases that I had to talk about, except for, here, let me show you something real quick. I talked about this in an indie makeup releases forever ago when it was originally sneak peeked, but it was just made available for purchase, I think yesterday or so. That's 2 days ago from the time you're seeing this. So this is the Milagro Iconic Couture palette. Just looks like this. I'll try and go ahead and add some swatch pictures I did on screen so you can see. But here's what it looks like inside. It does look pretty used and abused, and all I did was swatch it. The shadows are very, very soft pressed, so if you even just like barely touch them, you get so much pigment. The mattes feel so buttery smooth. The shimmers are kind of weird. Like these shimmers feel really smooth. This one is more like, I don't know what's going on there. That one's not as pigmented as some of the others, and then this one is like super chunky. And then this one is pretty smooth, but it's not as smooth as these golds. So I feel like I definitely have to get these on my eyes and try them out and see how I feel. The mattes felt really promising, except for the fact that these 2 shades are very, very similar. This one's just like the tiniest bit darker, but I feel like between the palette there probably could have been more variety, made this more of like a deep plum. But overall, I think it is a really beautiful palette, and it is available for purchase now. So they did send this over as PR, and I'm excited to try it. And I think like the packaging and everything looks really pretty, but I can't speak on the quality completely yet because I haven't done any eye looks. I only swatched it. Okay, so moving on to mainstream releases. First off, I just wanted to mention this really quickly. e.l.f. is actually releasing their foundation line in 40 shades, and I'm like so just happy and like relieved and like finally, because e.l.f. is one of those brands that they release 3 shades of foundation all the time. So it is about time that they released a better foundation shade range, and I don't plan on buying it or trying it. I really don't need it. I'm pretty sure I have an e.l.f. foundation I haven't even used ever that I bought from them. It might be this one, but I'm just really glad that they released a bigger range because it is about time. Next is the most beautiful palette I've seen in a hot minute. So this is the new Morphe 39S palette. I did order this myself, but it came pretty fast, way faster shipping than normal. It's probably because I paid for shipping and I did not try to get free shipping because I'm trying to be better about that. But here is what it looks like on camera, and it is really beautiful. I have not swatched or anything. I'm gonna try and have a first impression up tomorrow on Monday on this palette, so I might film with it tomorrow morning or tonight. I'm not sure exactly when I'll get the chance, but I think it is really beautiful, and it's got definitely some pops of neutrals, but overall so many purples and pinks. And there is one pressed glitter, which I'm a little like ugh about, but overall I think this palette looks so pretty. It kind of looks like this is what I'm wearing with my eye look today, but it's not. It's not. I'm just super into purples again out of nowhere, but I think this is like, I don't know, I just saw this, it like caught my eye, and I'm like, well, that's my last purchase for May. I don't care. I'm buying it. So I'm super, super excited to get this on my eyes and try it soon. And I don't know, I'm just a sucker for like a monochromatic palette, and I just saw this, and I know it's huge, but it's just so pretty, and I couldn't help myself. Okay, next I wanted to mention this really quickly. This is the new KKW Beauty Mrs. West collection, and this might be surprising to hear from me because you know I'm such about the colors and stuff, but I actually thought this was really beautiful and kind of breathtaking, and I think this is like absolutely perfect for like a bridal collection. I think that's so smart, and it's like, you know, a really beautiful nude lip shade, which, you know, that might be not the perfect nude for every skin tone. It might depend, but I think that overall the look looks really beautiful. There's a highlighter, a blush, a lip gloss, a lipstick, a lip liner, and a palette. I'm actually super into this. I'm like, I know I do not need this at all, but I think it's really beautiful. Like I don't know why I'm tempted by this set, but it just really caught my attention. Like I said, I know I don't need it, but I think it is very, very stunning and well thought out. And like, I'm trying to think, and I feel like I haven't seen any other brand do like a specific like bridal collection. And I feel like that's one of those like things that people are like, I feel like it's a huge part of makeup is the bridal aspect, because I don't even know how to explain it, but I just think it's genius and I really like the idea. Next is some new primers from Ofra, which I thought I would mention really quickly because I actually was sent these through Octoly. So they have two different shades. One is Northern Lights here. This is Ray of Lights, the one I'm pulling out now, which is more of like a bronzy shade, which I'm going to give a try because sometimes that'll still work underneath primer. And if it doesn't work for me, then I'll pass it on because it'll still be super hygienic since it's a pump. And then the shade that I'm really excited to try is Northern Lights, which I'm all about a like glowy illuminating primer. So I'm super excited about this. It's like a really white shade, and there's what it looks like all together. I have to say though that the packaging, I haven't used this on my face yet, so I mean the product is inside is what's important, but the packaging does feel really cheap because I think it looks nice, but the actual thing here, it's just like this, it feels like a Lego. Like that's the kind of plastic it feels like it just doesn't feel nice at all. Like, I don't know, I feel like these are going to be $20 each, which is not bad at all, but I just feel like you can hear it, and I don't know, I feel like all their other packaging looks so nice, and this just doesn't feel the same amount of niceness. Of course, like I said, it's what's inside that counts. If the product is amazing, then I don't care, but I just wanted to mention it because I do have the products here. Okay, we've got just a few more things to mention really quickly. Jouer is coming out with a new tan lines collection, and I was definitely curious about this palette because I saw some sneak peeks of it, but it is half neutral, half colors. I feel like if it was just the quad of the 4 colors, I might be intrigued to try it just because I would like to get to know Jouer a little bit more. I've only tried a lip topper and a lip gloss from them, and I hate the lip toppers. I feel like they're so overrated, but I feel like I would be very curious to try their eyeshadow formula, but I just don't think the palette altogether would be worth it for me. Next is the new ColourPop Watermelon palette, and I got so many tags on this palette, but I do not like this at all. There's nothing wrong with it, but I just don't like it. Like, I love red and pink shades, and I mean, this is fine, like it's an all red palette, but I just don't like it. I can't even explain it. There's nothing about it that makes me want to purchase it. Like, I look at it and I'm like, there's no looks I would want to do with it. Like, it's just like nothing, no connection, no chemistry at all. Maybe it's just because of the bronze shades down the middle. If they had done something a little bit more fun in the middle, that might have made a difference for me, but I just don't, no connection here, so I definitely don't plan on getting that palette. Next is the new Makeup Revolution collaboration with Rachel Leary, and I think this is really cool because I like her channel a lot, and I think that these look pretty. I like the bigger palette, and I don't know, I think it looks nice overall. But I just don't need it. I just don't need it. that's basically an end of story. Me, probably 6 months ago, would have been like, oh, I like her, let me buy it because it's a collab, but I don't need it. I don't need to buy it. I don't need to buy it. So I'm going to skip on that. Next, another thing I got tagged in more than I would expect to is the Lorac Cosmetics Neon Lights eyeshadow palette. And this is $29. It's limited edition and it's a colorful palette. And I mean, I like the idea of it because I like Lorac's formula, but I feel like it doesn't really bring anything to the table for me. Like it's nothing new for me. And also, I'm really not a fan of like lighter matte shades with deeper metallics. I feel like the metallics look darker than the mattes, and that's just not really my style. So I couldn't see getting that. Something I actually am very intrigued by is Persona Cosmetics is sneak peeking their Identity 2 palette. I would never pick up the Identity 1, like I would never use it very often, but I've wanted to buy it so much just because I hear such amazing things about the quality. So I am super excited to see what their Identity 2 is going to be, and they sneak peeked it with this like bluey duochrome looking shade. So I really hope it's something that I would want to try. I think that they're on my list of brands to try in 2019, so definitely have my attention there. Last but not least, I just wanted to announce really quickly that Melt Cosmetics is now going to be available at Sephora. I know this is more part of the indie side, but I just forgot, and I had it at the end of my screenshots that I had taken, but I think that this is super cool. I'm very happy for them. I personally wouldn't see buying it through Sephora just because it doesn't do anything for me. I mean, you get free shipping if you spend $50, which is great, but I feel like Melt does really good sales on their website all the time. I would never buy it full price, so I don't see myself purchasing anything, but I know for a lot of people that'll probably make it a lot more accessible, so I am happy for them, and it's a big achievement, so that's really cool. Alright, so that is everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, definitely let me know down below what releases you are loving or hating. I would love to hear your thoughts, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.